FN2187. You can call me Finn.
Alright, hello folks, JKG here with another playthrough of one of my Disney Infinity toy boxes, and this is another special one. If you saw my last video, I shared a toy box that I developed in honor of Star Wars Day, and fortunately I was able to get this one done in time. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to or not, but I'm also sharing this one for, miss my goat, in honor of Star Wars Day 2025, May the 4th, and so I'm sharing this playthrough with you now. I'm really happy with this one. It was one that I had sort of on my mind for a while now, and just finally had the time to put into this project, and really the timing, I think, couldn't be better, because, as you see in the title, this toy box right here is what I like to call my Andor Aldhani Heist toy box. And so this is based on, if you happen to watch Andor Season 1, this is based on one of the arcs from that season. Would be episodes mostly 4, 5, and 6, with the events of this toy box mostly being placed in episode 6, I would say. And so I will say at the beginning here of this video, technically, this toy box is at least a little bit of a spoiler. I guess it's kind of funny to say, but if you have not watched those episodes and you have any interest at all in watching Andor, you might honestly want to watch that first. You can always come back and watch this YouTube video after. I would welcome you back. No hard feelings if you wait a couple days to come back and watch my video here. Andor really is one of the best pieces of Star Wars media I think we've had in quite a while, and this is a bit of a controversial opinion for the internet, but that's coming from somebody who actually likes most Disney-created Star Wars media. There's a few things I haven't enjoyed, but actually most of it I have. But man, Andor is just easily above all of it. I mean, it's really fantastic. So this is sort of my ode to my favorite arc, I think, from Season 1, this Aldhani Heist. And so, to give some context here, again, I've given you my little spoiler warning. We start off with this rebel cell, and Cassian Andor has been added to this group of rebels kind of last minute. They're planning to pull off this heist, right, on the planet Aldhani. And so, when we first meet them, they're undercover, posing as basically shepherds, goat herders, out in the highlands, kind of biding their time. And so I've started by collecting all my goats. That's kind of what we started with there. We put them all in the pen, so that's good. Now I'm going to collect my things. So Andor brings with him, as you see in the episode, he's got this piece of sky kyber, this very valuable kyber crystal that was given to him, basically as a guarantee for being paid for this job. And we're also going to go ahead and grab our comm link, our little communications device. And once we collect that, we'll be able to move on to the next phase of our mission. And so we're going to travel across here. I did try to recreate a little bridge scene that's in the show. So we have this little log bridge here that might seem a little bit random unless you're familiar with that shot in the show, but I figured it was worth recreating. And so our rebel cell, they move on without going into too much detail from the show. If you've watched it, you'll know what I'm referring to, but eventually they sort of move into position, and instead of impersonating the shepherds and goat herders, they actually move on to impersonating Imperial troops. And so we're going to move on to the next phase as we pretend to be Imperial troops, and the first leg of this mission is going to be to escort these Aldhanis. And so the natives are here, right? It's on the cusp of a very special day for them here on the planet of Aldhani, and so they're going to celebrate sort of in their, I don't know, ancestral temple, I suppose we could call it. So we've got this little temple. Our job is going to be to escort them to the temple. So we're going to go ahead and approach these guys, and they're going to march, and we're just going to escort. And I don't have teams set, but you'll notice I have these guys on a path, so they're not going to bother us. No need to attack them. Again, we're undercover as Imperial troops ourselves. So we're going to escort these guys. They're going to go all the way to their temple, and then they're going to stop and chill, and eventually we'll see. They just kind of start to celebrate, right? This is a special day for them. So there they go. They're cheering. But I'm going to approach here turn on our fire, and now we're good to go, move on to the next phase of our mission. And so in the show, we see our undercover troops at this point will escort some higher ranking Imperial folks back into the base. And so we'll head back to the base, to the front door, and we're denied access. Now, this is a little bit different from what we see in the show. In the show, the main team is able to actually go straight in after this. But our toy box is trying to do a little bit of double duty here. So I'm following my radar indicator. I'm trying to basically have a few parts of the mission that we see sort of the main group of rebels doing, as well as a separate group of rebels. So there's actually another group of rebels that are kind of doing some important things towards the top of the base. And so we're going to go play their part of things. At least it's inspired by that. And so I'm going to approach here this terminal, and we're going to try to craft basically an override key card. And so that's what I'm going to do here as I hack this terminal. So there's a little override code on this key card I'm going to take. And I'm going to try to shut down the communications from our radio tower over here. So again, I'm following my radar indicators here. If you are familiar with this episode, this is, in my mind, kind of the part that, gosh, what are their names? Vel and Cinta, I believe, that they carry out. They kind of start off separate from the team. They sort of start off across the other side of the lake. Right, we have our dam here, because essentially that is what our base is. It's one giant dam. And so they swim across the lake, and they climb up over here. We've got their little area where they'd be hiding out. But then they hack into this little device. And so we're going to do the same. Right after we got our override, we hacked that thing. And now I have access to a key. So I'm going to grab this key. Now I can get in to the base. And so let's go back to our front door where we tried to enter last time. This time we should be able to make it. Now, you're certainly welcome to go the long way, but you'll forgive me if I just make a little jump down here. So let's go the quick way. As we jump, I'll just point out sort of the architecture going on. I did spend a lot of time in this toy box placing all these blocks. You can see I had to path in a whole bunch of blocks here. But that was intentional. I really wanted to capture the aesthetic of the rolling hills as we have this dam with, kind of resting within the valley. It was just such a cool visual from the show. So it took some extra work, but I'm glad with how it turned out. So now we're being drawn back to the base, and this time we can actually get in. I'll also point out this little opening in the roof was not there until we opened the door, because I didn't want to break the gameplay, but there is a scene where we see Vel and Cinta drop in kind of unexpectedly here. You probably know that scene I'm referring to if you've watched the show. But nevertheless, we're going to move on in so that we can access our elevator. So we're going to take the elevator down to the bottom level of the inside of the base. And again, you can go back up if you really want to. But we're going to move into the main portion here. And this is essentially kind of opens up into what you might consider the hangar. So we've got our ship here, our transport ship. And I've not shared a ton of details about the episode, again, on purpose, because I don't want to ruin things for people, especially if you haven't watched it. But the main idea of this heist is that we break in undercover with some inside help. And ultimately, we know that this base stores the quarterly payroll for an entire sector. I think that's what they say in the show. And so we're going to try to steal that payroll. We're going to steal a whole bunch of credits from the Empire, use it for the rebels instead. And so at the back of our hangar here, we have the opening to the vault. And so we're going to try to hack into our vault here. So I'm going to do that next. And then we're going to see if we can make off with this money. And there we go. All right. So that did it. We're in. Now, as I break in, I do set off a little alarm, so I've got a fight on my hands as well. Fortunately, I am playing as Finn, since, we're trying to be undercover Imperials after all. Seems like a fitting choice. And Finn's pretty OP, so he deals with these guys pretty easily. But at this point in the mission, once you have both defeated all of those enemies and you have opened each chest, so that we can gather these credits. Then you'll be directed onto the final phase of our mission here. So I'm just going to go open all my chests up. Again, you could have opened these before fighting the guys. Might be a little more difficult to do that way. If you're playing with a buddy, which I certainly like to do, you might have one person collecting the credits. You might have another person fighting off the Imperials. However you want to do it is totally fine, but we're going to collect all these goodies. Okay, now I'm being directed into the ship. So a little bit of further context before I play the ending of my toy box here. We see in the show they kind of get as many credits as they can loaded onto the ship, and then they try to make their escape. Now, our Aldhani friends that we escorted outside, it's a special night for them because there is this, I don't know, celestial event, right, that happens every 3 years. It's really, I guess, maybe more appropriate to call it like an atmospheric event. There's what almost appears to be something like shooting stars. Again, it's in the atmosphere, but this you know, huge conglomerate of these particles that are shooting through the atmosphere, and it lights up the sky. It's really quite the spectacle. The rebels decide to make their getaway at this exact time because they think that's their best chance of actually escaping. So, plus they know that security is going to be low because everybody's outside watching it, right? It's a big spectacle. So we're going to go ahead and load up onto our ship, and now we get sort of an automated camera work here to end us. We see the eyes going, we see it up in the sky, but we are being pursued as we make our getaway. The Empire is coming for us. However, the plan works perfectly because you can see all these TIE fighters that are coming for us. They're sort of picked off by stray particles in the sky. We're able to get up and out, and so we successfully make our escape. The rebels get away with the credits. Mission success. So there you have it. That's the toy box, folks. At the end here, I made a little checkpoint that just drops you on the outside once it's all said and done. Sometimes when I play through this, as you saw here in this recording, sometimes at the end, you actually end, your character will actually still be in the ship there, but sometimes it'll just drop you off in the middle of nowhere over the water. So I figured the checkpoint is kind of a safe way to end the level. But that's it, folks. If you've had a chance to watch these episodes, I hope this feels right to you. Again, it was some of my favorite Star Wars media in quite a while. I mean, Andor is just so good, and this arc especially I just really loved. And the location was just awesome. Seemed so neat. I knew that one day I had to try to turn it into a toy box. So I hope you enjoy, guys. I hope you get a chance to play this. I'm recording this early, of course, since it's for Star Wars Day, but eventually this will be going up so that you can download it and play it on either PC or PS4 or PS5, PlayStation, as part of what is shared on the Disney Infinity Discord server. And so that's linked below. Definitely go join that. And keep an eye out for when this toy box might be live. I hope you get to play it and enjoy it. Happy Star Wars Day. Let me also give a shout out and thanks to all the other creators. I'm excited. Of course, I haven't got to watch them yet because I'm recording this early, but I know a bunch of other folks are going to be sharing content they made in honor of Star Wars Day this year, and I'm excited to see it. I'm grateful to be a part of this community this year. I really just kind of recently found out about all this. So I'm glad I get to be part of the gang and contribute some toy boxes myself. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Stick around. You can subscribe if you want to watch future videos I make of playthroughs through some of my toy boxes. But again, hope you've enjoyed. Happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you.